A submarine went missing and it was a troubling mystery. No distress signal was issued and no traces of the vessel had been identified. Theories for the eventual fate of the submarine began to circulate. Some speculated that it might have sunk while others thought it could have been damaged in an attack. Search efforts were undertaken to try and locate the missing sub. However, the search teams came up empty in their attempts to find any sign of the vehicle. Reports came in from the naval community that the sub had gone off-grid without any signs of life. It was feared that the crew on board may have been lost in the depths of the ocean. The Navy set up a task force to investigate the disappearance and explore all possibilities for it. They began to question whether it could have been a technical problem or an attack. Analysis was conducted on all relevant data, but this did not yield any clues as to what happened to the sub. Each additional day without any word from the vessel only increased the worry in the Navy. The submarine defied any attempt to explain its whereabouts. It seemed as if the vessel had vanished without a trace, leaving no clues as to its final resting place. Teams of investigators launched into nearby waters in hopes of finding the missing sub. All they found, however, were pieces of debris that provided no information as to the location of the vessel. The task force decided to expand their search in order to cover any potential underwater pathways the submarine could have taken. No trace of it remained outside the area it was last registered. Desperate for answers, the Navy turned to scientists for help. They decided to look into whether any geographical landmarks could have been mapped by the sub's crew before it went dark. Satellite images were analyzed in hopes of finding the submarine, but each of these searches came back empty. It seemed as if the vessel had simply disappeared into thin air. Speculation among the experts became rampant. Some began to wonder if the vessel could have been destroyed in an underwater explosion. Others suggested that it had been hijacked by a foreign government. The mystery of the missing submarine went unsolved for months. It appeared as if the Navy had hit a dead end in their attempt to locate the vessel. Questions continued to remain unanswered and the ship's crew was still unaccounted for. Their families and loved ones were left with no closure and the Navy refused to give up hope. A potential breakthrough was finally achieved when a civilian passenger vessel reported seeing the sub emerge from a deep trench. This sighting was verified and the Navy was quick to deploy a team to investigate. They attempted to sonar scan the area in hopes of finding the missing vessel. Their effort paid off when a trace of the sub was finally located. It was found at the bottom of the trench, and it was thought to have been there since the initial disappearance. The sub had become trapped in the depths of the trench due to its size. It had been unable to get enough momentum to escape, leading to weeks of being in limbo. The search team was able to establish contact with the vessel's crew. They were all in good health, albeit shaken by their brushes with death. After being rescued, the crew recounted their tales of horror and survival. They described how they had been without food and water for days, desperate for any form of salvation. Reports filtered back to the Navy that the sub had descended too deep into a trench, and was unable to locate the right path out. The search teams hypothesized that the vessel had become snagged on an outcropping of rocks, preventing it from breaching the surface. Recovery operations were planned in order to bring back the sub and its crew, but this took time as the vessel was completely wedged in the trench. The Navy was relieved to finally have their submarine and crew back, although the search had been a long and arduous one. Efforts were undertaken to repair the sub and make it seaworthy again. New technologies were employed to make sure that its hull was airtight and pressurized.